Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has raised eyebrows after presenting a bizarre speech in which he scolded American voters for failing to elect their first female president.
Now, it shouldn't be that way. It wasn't supposed to be that way. We were supposed to be on a steady, if difficult sometimes, march towards progress. And yet, just a few weeks ago, the United States voted for a second time to not elect its first woman president. Everywhere, women's rights and women's progress is under attack, overtly and subtly. But I want you to know that I am, and always will be, a proud feminist. You will always have an ally in me and in my government.
Online commentators blasted the Prime Minister, with this person saying, Justin Trudeau is mad the US didn't elect a woman and declares he's a proud feminist. Male feminists are the absolute worst. And this commentator slammed him, saying, big mouth. Justin Trudeau's embarrassment tour continues as he refuses to stay in his lane, chastising and interfering in US politics for not electing a female president, calling it an attack on women's rights. Maybe he should resign since he's not a woman. Author Gad Saad doubled down on this, saying, I have explained this on countless occasions, but let me repeat it here. Justin Trudeau is a walking manifestation of every idea pathogen that I cover in The Parasitic Mind. It would take generations to undo the harm that he has done to our beautiful country. Elon Musk agreed, replying to Saad, saying, he's such an insufferable tool, won't be in power for much longer. The embarrassing speech comes after a tough few weeks for Trudeau. The Prime Minister has been continuously humiliated by Donald Trump after the President-elect threatened to impose tariffs on Canada unless they stop the flow of illegals and drugs into the United States.
And tonight we're getting some new details about that Trump-Trudeau dinner from two people who were at the table. We are told that when Trudeau told President-elect Trump that new tariffs would kill the Canadian economy, Trump joked to him that if Canada can't survive without ripping off the U.S. to the tune of $100 billion a year, then maybe Canada should become the 51st state and Trudeau could become its governor. Right.
More on that detail with the panel. Peter, thank you.
Trump then created a running joke saying Canada should become the 51st state if they are unable to afford the tariffs, now referring to him as the governor of the great state of Canada. But it seems the tide is turning in Trudeau's own country, with a recent poll indicating Donald Trump is more favoured than Trudeau in Canada.
Now, just on Trump, and a new poll has recently revealed that Canadians seem to approve of Trump over their Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Can you explain this polling data to us?
I mean, let's be honest, Canada is a mess. Whenever there's a story about Canada, it's almost never good. It seems like every night or several times a week I'm looking at, it looks like the Gaza Strip there. There's violence, there's extremism. It's an example of what happens when the leader of a country is a left-wing extremist. And you compare that to Donald Trump's record, and it's much better. Just this week, there was a major international event where they were essentially rededicating the Notre Dame because it had been refurbished after the big fire. And Donald Trump showed up there. And this might be subjective, but really the way that he was interacting with the heads of state, it made me feel almost like America was back. And you contrast that with some of the left-wing leaders, Trudeau and even Joe Biden, and there really just isn't that same international reception.
Canadian psychologist and commentator Jordan Peterson also weighed in, slamming Trudeau.
Trudeau is so spectacularly incompetent that there's endless discoveries of corruption and idiocy to be unveiled. And I'm afraid for Pierre Poilievre that he's going to be left with a terrible mess.